And we're back at it on a Monday, the 5th day of November, 2018. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Happy Monday to you. There is such a thing as good Mondays. If you like what you do for a living, Mondays are no problems at all. And I like what I do. I don't work real hard. Maybe that's half the reason I like my job so much. Dan Kuntz, your host. Once again, no chair to my immediate left. Doesn't mean we don't have a guest. We do. Jessica Arroyo will be in from Health Alliance. That time of year, again, the open enrollment, the plans are open for you to get all lined up for whatever healthcare plan you want to do for the upcoming year. Jessica will be in to talk about that in the second half of the show. So we'll move the chair back in on the set. But Steve Hare, once again, is working adjusted hours because Grant Olson has been on assignment for the last, 10 days, and will be for most of this week. So Steve Hare, our beloved senior news correspondent, is coming in a little bit later in the day and staying a little bit later in the afternoon so we can still put together a newscast for you. And we will, coming up at 5, 6, and 10. Good looking day for you today. Unseasonably warm for the last couple of days. Yesterday's high was 61 degrees. Our normal high on that date, Sunday, would be about 50. But I don't think we're going to see 61 degrees till March maybe or April because we're in for a gradual cooling trend. Forecast details are coming up. Also, we'll have a past report. Stevens is expecting quite a bit of snow today, tonight, and tomorrow. Not so much on I-90 and on Blewett as we're getting closer and closer to old man winter paying us a visit. And of course, daylight saving time has now come to an end, so you had 25 hours instead of 24 hours on Sunday, like most people. I'm assuming you simply slept right through it. That means we have daylight now with our high-definition Sky-Fi cameras, and we'll get to those here in just a little bit. I'll be handling your newscast. We also have sports. Wenatchee Wild split over the weekend, but a great, 4 or 5 days for the Eastmont High School sports program. Of course, they knocked off the Wenatchee Panthers, won the Big Nine, won the District 6 championship. They are on their way to state. We'll talk about who they play and when they play for Eastmont football. And the Eastmont girls soccer team, for the first time in program history, have advanced to the state tournament. They went down to West Valley and beat the Rams on Saturday afternoon. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. Tough loss yesterday for the Seahawks, but who's kidding who? The Chargers outplayed them. We'll talk Seahawks football as well. We also have the obscure holiday. Today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And again, Jessica Arroyo from Health Alliance Northwest will be in the second half of the program. If you're ready and I'm ready, we just have a couple of cameras available to us this morning on Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless network. That is the cross camera, or 4K cross camera, and that is pretty. That is just an incredible shot from our 4K camera. That's a super high definition camera. We've been tweaking it a little bit here and there to see if we can make it look as good as we possibly can. Looks pretty good to me. A good shot of the Wenatchee Valley proper. That camera is pulled back as far as it goes, also tilted up a little bit so you can see the skies. A couple of light raindrops today, that's really about it, but for the most part, forecast today calls for mostly sunny skies. Highs will be in the upper 50s, then we gradually cool down. And I think we have one other camera we can get to, and we can. That is the top of McNeil Canyon. Just, of course, if you head up to the Lake Chelan area, and you're on US 97, on the east side of the Columbia River, right before you get to the BB Bridge, you got to make your decision whether to cross the bridge and keep right on into Chelan and head on up to Pateros. Or you can take McNeil Canyon Road and head up to the Waterville Plateau area, and that's the top of McNeil Canyon Road. So Chelan proper is on your lower left-hand corner of your screen, and Lake Chelan comes into view rather pleasantly. Everybody's in for a pretty good-looking weather forecast today, but a friendly reminder, sun will go down. When does the sun go down today? Sun sets at 4:38 today. A lot of people don't like that, but the sunrise has already happened about 15 minutes ago. From the National Weather Service, here's your forecast. Just a gradual cool down. Actually, fairly typical November weather. We're going to see quite a bit of sunshine today, just a few clouds late this afternoon. High today of about 57. No real rain in the forecast and very little wind as well, although we did have some windy conditions over the weekend, which led to some power outages in the Upper Valley. We'll talk about that when we get to news. Partly cloudy tonight, 40. For the overnight low, lots of sunshine Tuesday. Again, as you see, cooler still. High 55, very little wind on Tuesday. Wednesday, sunshine. Again, we cool down. 52 for the high on Wednesday. Look at the overnight low on Tuesday night, 34 degrees. Clear skies means chilly overnight temperatures, 30. The overnight low Wednesday night, and just about the freezing mark. Overnight lows, lots of sunshine all this week, and that is really good news for the friends and folks up at Mission Ridge. That's snowmaking weather if you ever saw it. They needed to have nice and cold and not too warm in the afternoon, so it looks like Mission Ridge is going to be able to crank up those snow machines and get busy, looking all the way ahead to Veterans Day, by the way, which is on Sunday. this year. Veterans Day proper is always on the same date, so it's always November 11th, and this year it's on a Sunday. As far as the actual celebrations of Veterans Day, that will be on Sunday as well. The parade in downtown Wenatchee will be on Sunday, but as far as offices being closed, banks being closed, schools being closed, that will be on Monday the 12th. Just a quick reminder on that. It's just a quirk in the calendar. That's the way it is. Veterans Day will be this Sunday. 5 minutes after the hour, we're going to, oh, wait a minute, I do want to take a look at your pass report. I almost forgot about that because we haven't gotten used to doing it. Right now, passes, there are no advisories, no restrictions. I'm going to look real quick. I'm looking at the cameras right now. Everybody looks fine. There's a rain-snow mix coming down on Stevens Pass, but I'm looking at the roadway. It looks good to me. Nothing at all coming down on Blewett. Roadway is bare and wet with some light rain. Some light rain coming down on I-90. I-90, as usual, has some areas of standing water. Just a friendly reminder on that. But the forecast for Stevens Pass is calling for some snow today. About 3 to 5 inches of snow is possible today on Stevens Pass. An additional 3 to 5 inches tonight. And then on Tuesday, especially tomorrow morning, an additional 3 to 5 inches. So Stevens Pass could get a little dicey right now. It looks fine, and we'll be able to map those cameras in from the DOT, we hope, by this time tomorrow. Keep your fingers crossed. All right, now we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, your Monday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel. Join us Tuesday, November 6th for live coverage of Election 2018. NCW Life will be on the air live from 7:30 to 9 with results, analysis, interviews, and special guests. Eric Randstrom will be our studio host, and reporters Steve Hare and Dan Kuntz will be in the field providing up-to-the-minute results from all the races. In addition, we'll have expert analysis of the national and statewide races. The NCW Life channel, your local source for Election 2018.
I came here to CVCH because one of my friends referred me. When I met Dr. Jocelyn, she was just amazing. She connected with my son, and it meant so much to me. He opens up so quickly because she just sits there and plays with him. It really is like going to see a friend. It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted and respected. It just feels like home.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
You ever seen Steve look any better? Actually, Steve got a haircut. I know that for a fact. We have video of it coming up in the news. Dan Kuntz filling in for Steve here on your Monday morning. Let's take a look at what's making headlines. Chelan County PUD crews scrambled from one power outage to another during yesterday's windstorm. The gusty winds knocked trees down over power lines in the Leavenworth, Plain, Peshastin, and Cashmere areas, with over 1,000 customers impacted. The outage repaired, with the last power restored to the majority of customers by 7 o'clock last night. Well, a Washington State apple industry official says shipments thus far have eclipsed last year's crop movement numbers. John Devaney is the chairman of the Washington State Tree Fruit Association in Yakima.
Season to date at this point is 14.8 million boxes shipped already of the 2018 crop. And at this point last year, we were at just right around 14. So we're up about 5.9% in shipments overall on a smaller crop. So that's a sign of good movement. Now, our industry is still working on pricing because the target moved a little bit. So our sales folks and shippers set their pricing expecting 131 million boxes and then had to revise that downward. So it takes a little while for the pricing to catch up with what the total expected supply is.
This season, the state produced about 116 million boxes of fruit. That's down from the 137 million box crop of last year. Devaney says there's a lot of uncertainty over the ongoing trade dispute with China, which could impact export sales. But he said growers are hopeful that stability will be restored in a potential new trade agreement with Canada and Mexico.
Access remain consistent or not. So having some predictability matters a great deal. So while the new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement doesn't really make a lot of changes directly related to our industry, it would restore some stability in just knowing that that agreement will remain in place relative to agricultural products and tree fruit, and that our growers will be able to have access to what are still two of our most important markets going forward.
We'll have more next week when the updated shipping numbers are released. The Moses Lake School District was not responsible for injuries sustained by a student in a shop class roughly a decade ago. That is the ruling issued Thursday by the Washington State Supreme Court. The Columbia Basin Herald reports the case was brought by Heidi Jo Hendrickson, who cut a portion of one of her thumbs off trying to dislodge a board stuck in a radial saw during a shop class. She claimed the district and instructor were liable for negligence. The original jury trial found that while the school district was negligent, it was not the cause of Hendrickson's injuries. An appeals court later ruled in her favor, saying that the trial court failed to give the jury proper instructions. The High Court's ruling affirms the 2016 lower court ruling that the district only had an obligation to provide ordinary duty of care for students and not a heightened duty, as the student claimed. A spokesperson for the Moses Lake School District had no comment on the ruling, saying the district does not comment on ongoing litigation. Leavenworth City Administrator Joel Walensky says he is leaving his post at the end of January to tend to out-of-state matters.
I've been for probably the last, well, actually 6 months, year, working and having some, I'll just say it, family issues that are out of state, and been kind of traveling back and forth and back, and doing this, and I need to focus more time on that. So I've told Sherry, our mayor, that I'll be leaving the end of January of 2019. They're hoping to start up the search process, and hopefully there can be, I'll assist them on working their way through that process. Ultimately, it's the mayor's decision, but I know she wants a lot of input from the community and the city council on who the successor will be.
The 63-year-old Walensky was hired by Leavenworth in 2010 after serving as city administrator in Northfield, Minnesota. He said he's enjoyed his time working in Leavenworth city government.
Oh, it's a great place to work, and I'm still very much interested in what happens with the city, and also, you know, it's a very interesting job, and I really enjoy what I do. From my perspective, though, to do a good job, and this is just, you know, this is me, to do a good job and to be the best asset for the city in this position, I have to have a lot of focus on the job, and with what else I have going on right now, I can't put that dedication into it.
Walensky says he has no immediate plans to move out of the city, but he will be out of town for a time. Republican State Representative Matt Manweller says he'll resign if elected to another term, but that has not stopped the Republican Party from campaigning for him. Manweller's campaign website automatically redirects visitors to the Kittitas County GOP site, where voters are urged to check the Manweller box in the race for the 13th Legislative District seat. Manweller was fired from his teaching job at Central Washington University after an investigation into sexual misconduct allegations. His opponent on the ballot, Democrat Sylvia Hammond. If Manweller wins, then resigns, Republicans will choose his replacement. And they've already begun that process. They've narrowed the finalist list down to 3. The Ellensburg Daily Record reports the party's first choice is Danny Stone, a wheat farmer and pastor. Also being considered, Alex Ybarra, a Quincy school board member, and Ian Elliott, a former state lawmaker. A Yakima Nation leader was denied entry into the U.S. Supreme Court chambers last week when he refused to remove his headdress. The tribe has expressed its objections in a news release. The chairman, Jody Gowdy, was at the court to attend a hearing concerning fuel taxes and whether the tribe must pay them when fuel is delivered onto the reservation. But when he attempted to enter the courtroom, he was stopped by a security officer. Gowdy captured the incident in a video that he shared on his Facebook page.
So the court is not to be subject to outside influence. So the court hears a case based on rule of law. The headdress itself will not be allowed inside the courtroom because it draws attention to you. Plus, you've been advised as well that the headdress is not permitted. The attire, otherwise attire is fine, but the headdress itself will not be permitted. Plus, we have decorum issues in the courtroom as well as obstruction for other people that are trying to watch court. But the main overall thing is that we do not want to draw attention to a particular case or a particular litigant in the case, so that the court is not influenced by that.
Okay.
all right?
For the record, I'm being denied access to the Supreme Court.
You are not being
because
denied access to the Supreme Court.
If I do not take off my headdress.
Correct. You can go inside the courtroom without the headdress, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right?
All right, I appreciate that.
Okay, very good.
Afterwards, Gowdy said he refused to take off the traditional regalia. He said he made it inside the hearing room. Had he made it inside the hearing room, Gowdy would have watched the justices debate a number of issues affecting his people's way of life. Their questions focused on whether the state of Washington can impose a fuel tax on a business owned by a tribal citizen. And finally, on this Monday morning, the Wenatchee Valley is blessed with a number of small ma and pa businesses that often go about their daily work unnoticed. Bud's Barbershop is one of those businesses. It's a little two-chair shop located on South Wenatchee Avenue. Harkens back to a simpler time, as NCW Life's very own Steve Hare learned when he stopped by to get himself a haircut.
Get my haircut here at Bud's, downtown Wenatchee on South Wenatchee Avenue. Bud's not with us anymore, but I'll tell you what, Connie does a darn good job of cutting hair.
Thank you.
And what's the secret to being a good barber?
I think you got the secret, because as long as you're filming my haircut, I gotta be real particular with you. No, you gotta listen to what the customer wants, and you gotta be able to BS a lot.
I was gonna say, what is it about a barbershop where people feel so comfortable just, you know,
I think it's one of the
sharing
last,
their lives? And
I think it's one of the last places you really don't have to stress too much about being politically correct, and about any hobby you're interested in. There's someone that in there that either knows about it or wants to know about it. So.
I'll bet politics is a good source of conversation down here at Bud's.
It really is. It stays pretty calm, but I've had people walk out angry before they even got their hair cut.
You try to stay as neutral as possible then?
I try. I don't succeed, but I try. I'm a female. You know I have opinions.
Oh, of course. And the guy that's sitting here in the chair has to be careful about his opinion while you're cutting it.
Well, no, because he hasn't paid me yet.
Oh, okay.
No, it stays, everybody's pretty tense about things though right now, so you do see it in here a little less so than other places, but like I said, I have had some serious arguments, one fist fight.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, no kidding. No kidding, yeah. Kind of called it a draw, but I love this job because it's a little bit of everything. A little bit of fishing, hunting, sports. Sometimes these guys get going on their grandkids more than I would.
Well, I don't want to get you embroiled in the political debate right now, but let's say if Donald Trump walked through the door of Bud's Barbershop right now, what would you do with his hair?
Oh, I've dreamed of that. I certainly wouldn't turn the ceiling fan on. Nope, that'd be going super short.
Okay.
Super short, all over.
Well, thanks a lot.
Oh, Bud Overton's daughter Connie Huber took over the South Wenatchee Barbershop after her dad died about 5 years ago. And yes, Steve's haircut still looks good. It takes a couple of days, after you get your haircut for your hair to get back into the proper position. Friendly reminder, we have live election night coverage tomorrow night right here and live from the Chelan County Courthouse about 4 blocks from where I'm sitting. We'll have live election night coverage. It will begin at 7:30, a half an hour before the polls close, and we will go live from 7:30 to 9. We'll have all the latest results from all the local races, which is what we're essentially concentrating on, the local races in both Chelan and Douglas counties. We'll also have some insight and analysis on the state races, see what happens to the State House of Representatives and the State Senate, and of course some of the national races as well, to see if the balance of power shifts in the United States House of Representatives and the United States Senate. Live election night coverage with the whole team tomorrow from 7:30 to 9 right here on the NCW Life channel. Let's take a look around the valley on temperatures. If you haven't been outside yet, it feels unseasonably mild because it is. 45 degrees outside of our studios in downtown Wenatchee. Cashmere, you're at 46. Dryden, 44. Let's see, Leavenworth, 43. Chelan, 47. And Manson, 36. Big temperature change there between Chelan and Manson. A reminder, the news will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on this very television station. Eric Grandstrom in the anchor chair for the vacationing Grant Olson. 5, 6, and 10 are your 3 chances to watch the evening news on TV. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website. We'll have the newscast up and running for you at about 5 o'clock this afternoon. So if you prefer to consume your news at your own leisure, you can do so by clicking on the Watch the News icon on our website. We also will have it on our Facebook page. Again, right about 5 o'clock this afternoon. And those are 2 of the tools that you can use to get a hold of us. If there's something out there that you think we should be covering or take at least a look-see at, get a hold of us. There are any number of ways to do it. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page and private message us. You can go to our website at ncwlife.com and click on the Contact Us icon, and you have 2 options there. Just drop us a note or submit a news tip. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call on the number that you see at the bottom of your screen, whatever it takes for you to get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. It is 21 minutes after the hour on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. When we come back, sports. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Localtel. Holiday Open House and Wine Walk is this Saturday from 12 to 5 in downtown Wenatchee. Visit participating downtown locations hosting wineries and cideries from throughout the region. Also Saturday is Ladies' Night Out in Plain at Plain Hardware and Nordic Ski Trails from 6 to 8. Enjoy discounts on gifts, clothing, and holiday decorations. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood.
It's great.
Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
And welcome back on a beautiful Monday morning. Look at that shot from our cross camera on this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Sports, the Eastmont Wildcats girls soccer team, the district champions. They traveled down to Yakima Saturday and they shut out West Valley 2-0. That's Coach Erin Riedel accepting the district championship trophy and presenting it to her team. It's the first time in school history for both the district title and qualifying for the state tournament, which means a home game. They'll take on Central Valley from the Greater Spokane League. That'll be Wednesday, 5 o'clock at Eastmont's Stadium. We'll have the game televised on the NCW Life channel at 7 on Wednesday night. Also, to the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. You see that both Caribou Trail League teams were bumped out of the postseason Saturday. Cashmere fell to Freeman 1-0. Cascade lost on the road at Lakeside 5-0 for the Bulldogs. And the Kodiaks, their seasons have now come to an end. The WIAA made its seeding selections for the state football tournament. Yesterday afternoon, Eastmont, as a representative from the Columbia Basin Big Nine, received a number 12 seed. They'll play at number 5 seed Puyallup. That'll be Friday night at 7 o'clock. Both teams finish the regular season at 9-1. The rest of our local teams finish their season on Fridays. We turn back to the Les Schwab scoreboard. Cashmere topped Lakeside 9 Mile Falls 36-7. Cascade fell to Deer Park 31-9. It was Chelan over Medical Lake 49-6. Aniat beat Republic 58-22. The Wenatchee Wild split their weekend series at the Town Toyota Center. They fell to West Kelowna Friday. The final there was 4-3. And then the Wild were trying to snap a 3-game losing streak Saturday against the Powell River Kings. And the teams traded goals back and forth through the first couple of periods. The fact they were tied 3-3 going in to the third period. They, in fact, with just 5 minutes left in regulation, and that's when the onslaught began. Mike Gavsheski picked up the loose puck on a Kings power play, scored a shorthanded goal with 4:32 left in the game. Matt Dorsey added to the lead at the 17:42 mark, and then Josh Arnold finished it off. The Wild won 6-3 on Saturday night. Surrey will be in town Friday, plus Coquitlam on Saturday, both games 7 at the Town Toyota Center. To the Les Schwab College football scoreboard we go. Gardner Minshew threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to Aesop Winston with just 32 seconds left. Washington State pulled it out. They beat Cal in Pullman Saturday night, 19-13. Taylor Rapp intercepted a Stanford pass in the end zone to secure Washington's 27-23 win over the Cardinal. On Saturday, Myles Gaskin back in the Husky lineup. He missed the last couple of games. He rushed for 140 yards and scored a touchdown. Eric Barrier ran for a couple of touchdowns, threw for another. Eastern Washington rolled over Northern Colorado 48-13. And Cedric Cooper, rushing for 203 yards on 18 carries, scored 4 touchdowns. Central Washington had no problems with Southwest Baptist. Look at that score, 74-28. Well, yesterday in Seattle, Seahawks had a chance at the end, but Russell Wilson's pass into the end zone to David Moore, incomplete. Time expires. LA Chargers hold on for the 25-17 win. Seattle's defense sliced up by Phillip Rivers and the Charger offense all day, one big play after another. LA averaged 7.1 yards per play as it built a 25-10 lead. Melvin Gordon led the Chargers attack with 113 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown. Seattle held LA scoreless in the second half until David King intercepted a Wilson pass, returned it 42 yards for a touchdown with 6:44 remaining in the game. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll applauded his team's comeback attempt, but he said, hey, they simply made too many mistakes.
Defense played a really good second half and gave us a chance. I don't think they gave up any points and shut them down on third down to give us a shot. Great job surging at the very end of it to give the ball back so we had a chance to win the football game. And all in all, we had a chance. We were right there. And a fantastic job really by the offense as we were closing out the game to get down the field twice and take advantage of the clock and do it and put us in position to win and to tie and try to put it in overtime. But it didn't feel clean like we want. Didn't feel like we had, as we have been playing, and give them some credit. But I think we need to clean it up. We gave them too much against a good team, and then when we give them the turnover for the touchdown, that really winds up being the difference in the game. So it's unfortunate. It's too bad because we had a chance to win a game that's right there for us. It was going to be dramatic, but we're okay about that.
Seahawks travel to Los Angeles to take on the Rams on Sunday afternoon, 1:25 kickoff on Fox. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday morning. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley rolls on at 27 minutes after the hour. It's time for the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Guy Fawkes night. Guy Fawkes. It was originally celebrated in Great Britain, and now it's kind of caught on. Originally, it was a day to celebrate the foiled assassination attempt of King James I. Now it's a day for people to drink wine, set off bonfires, and have fireworks celebrations. It all started way back in 1605, the famous gunpowder plot. The plot was foiled on November 5th, 1605, when Guy Fawkes was arrested guarding a cache of explosives. Immediately following his arrest, the King's Council decided to burn a bunch of bonfires to support the King's survival. They don't do that anymore. Now in Great Britain, it's a big holiday there. Mostly it consists of people setting things on fire and drinking alcohol. Makes me wonder why I decided to do this obscure holiday of the day today. Don't do what they do in Great Britain anyway. It's the only one I had. Today in history, on this November 5th, we have 2 elections. That is the electoral map as it appeared in the New York Times following the 1912 presidential election. It was 106 years ago that Woodrow Wilson was elected the 28th president of the United States. He defeated incumbent William Howard Taft, who didn't win anything, and Theodore Roosevelt, of course, and his Bull Moose Party. All Woodrow Wilson had to do to win the election is to get the Democratic nomination, which he did because the Republican Party was split in half, with TR and his group going in their direction, and the incumbent William Howard Taft went the other direction. Woodrow Wilson elected the 28th president of the United States on this date. That's the electoral map. It wasn't a very good day for the incumbent William Howard Taft, was it? Look at TR won Washington State, though. November 5th, 1940, 78 years ago today, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, becomes the first and only president of the United States to be elected to a 3rd term. Now, of course, that can't happen anymore unless we change the Constitution. FDR elected to a 3rd term on this date, November 5th, 1940. And finally, we got some birthdays for you. Natalie Schaefer, she played Lovey Howell on Gilligan's Island. There she was. She was born on November 5th, 1900. She kept her age a secret from everybody. I mean, from everybody. And she never revealed her true birthday throughout the course of her life. Finally, it was revealed when she died at the age of 90 in 1991 that she was born in 1900. She didn't think much of Gilligan's Island when she got the job offer to play Lovey Howell. She said, this show's never going to make it after she read the pilot script. But they shot the pilot in Hawaii over 2 weeks in November of 1963. She thought, okay, a 2-week paid vacation in Hawaii, plus they'll pay me, plus all expenses paid. Yeah, I'll take the role. Of course, it went on to become a landmark in television. Natalie Schaefer, born in the state in 1900. Speaking of actresses, Vivian Lee was born in the state in 1913. There she is, passed away in 1967 at the age of 53. Won 2 Academy Awards, of course. She was best known for her role as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. She also won the Academy Award for Best Actress for Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire. Legendary actress Vivian Lee, born in the state in 1913, became one of the very first actresses who was well known to be very difficult to work with. I don't know. Finally, Bill Walton, basketball legend, 66 years old today, the only 3-time NCAA men's basketball player of the year. He won it as a sophomore and a junior and a senior. Won a bunch, Kat says that's not a flattering photo of Bill Walton. The best I could do. Sorry about that. Happy 66th birthday to Bill Walton. All right, 31 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. And then Jessica Arroyo will be in from Health Alliance. It's that time of the year again. What you going to do for your health care plan come next year? Time to make some decisions and be well educated. That conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Full Circle Theater Company presents The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is being performed this Friday and Saturday at the Riverside Playhouse. Get your tickets at numericapac.org. Laugh Riot 2018 is this Saturday at the Wenatchee Convention Center from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Come see the best in stand-up comedy. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks, so bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's been a good deal of discussion about school protection, and maybe, just maybe, this time we'll see some positive action. However, we need to get past these knee-jerk emotional reactions, stop pointing fingers at those who we think are to blame, and stop once and for all, stop waiting for the government to act. Banning bump stocks now may possibly have some deterrence on a school shooting in the future, but let's face it, such an action is merely a pacifier to political correctness, which will do nothing now to prevent or deter the next school shooting. So let's get real, folks. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Join us Tuesday, November 6th for live coverage of Election 2018. NCW Life will be on the air live from 7:30 to 9 with results, analysis, interviews, and special guests. Eric Ranstrom will be our studio host, and reporters Steve Hare and Dan Kuntz will be in the field providing up-to-the-minute results from all the races. In addition, we'll have expert analysis of the national and statewide races. The NCW Life channel, your local source for Election 2018.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started, and why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life Channel.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. She is back for the third appearance on this program. If you're 65 years and older, you got to make up your mind. You can't just kick this can down the road anymore. Jessica Arroyo from Health Alliance Northwest, is that correct?
Correct.
Can I add Northwest in there?
Yes.
I just did. Jessica Arroyo is back. Why do people, first questions first, why do people wait so long to make their decision?
It's daunting.
Is it because there's just so much?
It's so much, and even current members call, why did I get this flyer? And it's just you're getting inundated with information from all these companies that are out there, and you don't know what to do. So you put off what is hard.
But your job is to make it easier.
Absolutely,
and try
yes.
to put the right plan to the right person, right?
Yes.
So go ahead.
It's just a nice thing that I've been here the third time. It's just we want to make it known that we're local, we're here, and take the process. Start early, let it sink in, and ask questions as you go. I'm the type of person that walks in. Do you have any questions? No. And as soon as I walk out, I'm like, dang it, I should have asked that question. So just let it soak in. It's a process, and it's just not a one-day thing. You really have to do your research.
You have to do some thought into it. Give me some hard deadlines so people can write some stuff down in their calendar.
The deadline is December 7th, so annual election period is every year from October 15th through December 7th. Applications have to be received on or before December 7th for your plan to start the following year.
Okay, so you have a little more time, but you don't have that much more time.
You have about a month left.
Yeah, so, and this is across the board. This is basic health care, dental, hearing, vision, all kinds of different stuff?
Yes, it is
Okay, for Medicare.
specifically for Medicare, but we know that there's other dates thrown out there. So just make sure that if you are Medicare eligible to make your changes through December 7th, because I know there's a lot of commercials out there for different lines of business that can get confusing for a lot of people.
What if you're not Medicare eligible now, but you will be next year?
It's the time to look. The numbers that you're looking at right now in the fall, those numbers will pertain for next year. So even just to go in and talk about the plan, at least you know numbers, and you're starting early. You're looking at your options.
What's the best way to do advanced homework, to do your, I mean, obviously go online and do some research like
Absolutely.
that?
So healthalliancemedicare.org, you can look at all of the information. Medicare.gov is a great resource as well. Put in your zip code, you get to know all of the plans that are available in your area. And come see us. We're 316 5th Street here in Wenatchee, open 8 to 5. You can just swing by. We have 5 representatives that are available at all times, so you can just 8 to 5, not all times, to talk about it.
What if you've never done this before? Some people have been in it for a couple of years. Other people, this is their first time, and they just, I have no idea what to do. Then what?
I actually had a lot of people that just stop in. They see our sign and they're like, I drive by this every day and I don't know what's offered. They just swing in. We go down. We have a lot of educational material, just not necessarily numbers. And it just kind of lays it out of all the options you have.
Okay, and there are a lot of options.
There are a lot of options.
So, but do your homework in advance and you're in better
Yes,
you're in
and I
better
love it. I'm an insurance nerd, so I love when people come in and they're like, well, I read this, and when I throw a word out, they understand it. And the more you listen to it, the more comfortable you are. Just the word Medicare for people is so scary, and they don't want to talk about it because you're at that eligibility group that you just sometimes don't want to associate yourself with. But that's what we're here. I mean, we're all going to get there. I have the privilege to walk people through that difficult time.
And it takes some work, and there's no question about it. But come January 1st, you're like,
yes,
all right, I got it for the year.
Yes, and even if you submit your application today, you know that you already made your choice, and you get to start planning for the holidays.
Yeah, the sooner the better. You get this
sooner
done.
the better, just because you get to think about it and let it sit in.
Yeah. Well, how do you know what's your best? I mean, if you're saying, okay, I just turned 65, I'm in good health, I've been taking care of myself, I don't have any underlying conditions, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's something that we absolutely, one plan is not going to fit everybody. So you just need to really look at what your upcoming year is going to look like. If you're fairly healthy, maybe this plan's better. If you think, oh gosh, I'm going to have some surgery, rehab, maybe plan C is better for you, or whatever it is. So that's something that we really look into. We look up people's medications to make sure that we do cover and have the needs that fit you. So that's just the nice thing that we're here and that I get to do is just, I want to make sure that you're happy on our plan.
And some medications are expensive.
Very expensive. And that's something that I recommend is do your homework, especially on medications, because Medicare has lots of rules on that. So just because the medications, I'll throw lingo out there, a tier 3 medication on our plan, it could be a tier 4 on a different plan. So the higher the tier, the more expensive it gets. So that's something that you really need to look at. That's very important.
When you visited me back in October, a month ago, you brought your friend from Confluence Health.
Yes.
Talk about, she couldn't make it today for reasons that you don't care about. Reasons she cares about, trust me. But talk about that relationship between Health Alliance Northwest and Confluence.
Absolutely. So Confluence Health really wanted to have a stable plan in our area. I'm sure you've heard a lot of disruption going on, and so they heard of Health Alliance, who is based in Illinois. So they came in to show stability and bring that local aspect to the plan. That's very catered to us. We work so well together with Confluence Health. We always have people come in. They're just a phone call away. So it's a really nice partnership that we have.
When I was channel flipping over the weekend, I saw, especially on Sunday morning, I came across a lot of infomercials from different companies trying to pitch their product. Do those help you at all or not? I mean, if you're coming across it, should you sit and watch for 5 minutes? Or are they just trying to sell your product?
I think they're just trying to, like any commercial,
sure.
Sell their product. For us, I think just showing presence is what we look for. That's particularly what my role entails, is being at any community events that we can maybe help support, any programs that are out there that can help our Medicare eligible people. That's
And
what we
besides,
do.
they're paid actors, so they're just getting paid to read something on the television. Health Alliance itself has been around for nearly 40 years, right? So you're not one of those companies that popped up when the Affordable Health Care Act passed and all everybody wants to get in on this.
They actually started it back in Illinois. Almost 40 years ago. They've been in the Medicare business. They are actually in partnership with another provider office back there. Confluence Health heard about it because it has worked so well for them. And they're not in Chicago, like people think we're in Seattle. We're not. And so it's very rural, just like we are. So it was really nice to mimic and learn from Health Alliance, bringing in that support And again, just avoid that disruption that happens. Seems like every year, it's not, but that's something that we're trying to avoid.
Can people go through this thicket, this forest of information on their own without anybody's help at all, or is that, I mean, I've done some cursory looking and going, I'm so lost on
You
this
know,
stuff.
even if you just look at it, so you looked at it, but you picked on something. So if you go see it, then go talk to somebody, it starts to register a little more. So whatever research you can do, I have people that have bought books about Medicare, and I talk to them like, oh yeah, I did read about it, but now it makes sense. So just glancing won't hurt.
Glancing won't hurt. And you're a good conduit for that kind of stuff, right? I mean, as far as
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I always say the story on my first day of work. I was like, what is this? This is so much information. How do people learn that? And you just have to consistently do it. Especially it's your insurance, so you want to make sure.
And it helps if you're an insurance nerd like you are, which is a term that's never been used on this program.
I know. I laugh at insurance jokes now, and my husband just does not laugh.
Jessica Arroyo is here from Health Alliance Northwest with their local Wenatchee office. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Just as the cool mornings and evenings are returning to our valley, Carrier and Alpine Air are offering best-in-class rebates and promotions to keep your home comfortable and safe this winter. Call for your free estimate today. Ask about rebates to $1,650 and low interest, low payment financing. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call 662-6846. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor, family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
Join us Tuesday, November 6th for live coverage of Election 2018. NCW Life will be on the air live from 7:30 to 9 with results, analysis, interviews, and special guests. Eric Granstrom will be our studio host, and reporters Steve Hare and Dan Kuntz will be in the field providing up-to-the-minute results from all the races. In addition, we'll have expert analysis of the national and statewide races. The NCW Life channel, your local source for Election 2018. And we're back with Jessica Arroyo from Health Alliance Northwest. Again, talking about the deadlines that you folks need to get seriously thinking about when it comes to, get your Advantage plan or whatever the case may be for next year. Let's talk about the geographical footprint that you got. You have your office next to Jack in the Box here. Mm-hmm. On Chelan and Wenatchee, but what is your geographic footprint? People from Omak and Okanagan come down or call, that kind of stuff?
Yes, so we have Chelan, Douglas, Grant, and Okanagan County, so that's the service area that we have. The local office for us is here in Wenatchee, but we do have local agents in every 4 counties that if you want to talk to somebody in person, I know it can be hard driving from Oroville to Wenatchee. Sure. So we do have those resources for you. In those areas.
But in places like Oroville and Omak and Republic and what have you, as far as your choices are concerned for like vision or your pharmacy, you don't really have a lot of choices in those rural areas, don't you?
No, you typically don't, and that's the nice thing about having our health plan up in Okanagan County and that partnership with Confluence Health and other contracted providers is that we make sure that you have that access to care, particularly up in those areas. I mean, takes you half an hour to an hour to get anywhere. So that's just a nice perk of having a local plan, a Medicare Advantage plan.
So yeah, that's because people, I mean, so if they're like, say, hey, I'm in Omak or Okanagan, and I want to come down and talk to you, Jessica, and I'll be in town on this date at this time, you'll make arrangements to sit down.
Absolutely, and I do have that quite a bit. People will come down for appointments and then make a trip out of it and come talk to us. Again, you can just swing by. We have so many reps that are there in our office that can help assist you, so it should be no problem.
The fact that you have 7 folks working in your office tells me that you're busy.
We are very busy,
Yeah.
yes.
A little small, but very busy indeed. And of course, while you're down here from the Omak, Okanagan, Republic area, Riverside, you know, you can do the stuff in the big city. You know, Applebee's, and
Pybus.
yeah, Pybus, all that good stuff. What happens if you blow the whole thing off? Are you in serious trouble? Oh, didn't do anything, Jessica. Now it's February 3rd. Now what?
It could be a little scary.
Well, what happens?
You will have to wait till the following year to pick a new plan. So typically, if you just have original Medicare, you have some coverage, maybe not the extent that you want it to be, but you have some. Well, you would have to wait for the following year for annual election period once again, and think it won't start till January 1st of the following year.
So you're really rolling dice.
Really are.
In a big way.
You really are.
So don't do that.
No, nobody do that.
Do you get a nasty gram, or do you get a bad letter from somebody saying, "Hey, what are you doing? You know, you're on your own now."
You won't get a nasty gram. Just make sure that you do your research if you're becoming newly eligible for Medicare, that you make sure and look at all of your options, because there are penalties if you do avoid picking certain parts of Medicare. Not for not picking a Medicare Advantage plan, but different parts. So you could get penalized for not picking up your Part B as in boy. And then you are subject to getting a late enrollment penalty for your prescription coverage, which is Part D.
Which you just don't want to do.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No, and those penalties aren't small.
Yeah. If you're already happy with what you got, hey, I'm with Health Alliance Northwest or wherever it might be that is your conduit for Medicare and Medicare Advantage. If you're happy, is it super easy? You just reboot, do it again.
For example, on our plan, you just roll over for the following year. You don't have to do anything. But if you really want to take a look, even if you are still a Health Alliance member and you maybe want to change to a different plan, come talk to us. We can go over the changes with you in person and see if what you currently have is working for you, or if maybe you need to make a change.
This is going to sound like a stupid question. How much does it cost, and how do you guys make your money?
So we hold contracts with Medicare.
Okay.
So Medicare obviously oversees us and makes sure that we're providing the care that we said we were going to provide. And it just depends on what type of plan you want to pick. I mean, it can range from, I don't know, you threw a hard question at me.
Sorry about that.
It just depends. It could range from, $30 a month up to $120 a month. I mean, it just depends on what plan you go on.
And you can do make your easy monthly payments and that, or you can pay it in one fell swoop.
You can make it however you want. Basically, any option you want. You can come see us at our office every month.
The deadline is December 7th, people. December 7th. If you wait till December 8th, you blew it. And the open enrollment started on October 15th. So your advice to them right now is go online. Make sure you have Adobe Reader on your computer, because you can download some PDFs. You can fill out a lot of stuff in advance, right?
Yes, you can do everything online pretty much. Just submit it on there. It's very easy. But I know a lot of people that rather have paper. I love paper. That's not good. But you can come into our office and we can go over it in person.
And there's a lot of people who, quite frankly, and I'm one of them, are a little leery of doing everything online.
Yeah.
You know, that's
and
kind of scary.
I learned visually.
Yeah.
So I always want to make sure that I like to draw things out. I like to touch it and make sure that what I'm seeing is in black and white, and I retain the information. So that's why I love.
Do you recommend potential clients that they maybe consult with their primary care physician before they actually go through all that stuff, just so, you know, old Dr. Smith says, you know, I think it's probably a good idea that you get this plan, or you concentrate something on this?
Typically, yes, and that's a lot of people do that. They consult their doctor. I mean, it's somebody that you trust, and you take their opinion very to heart. So yeah, it would be a good idea to talk to them and see. For us, for example, Confluence Health, I mean, we're in partnership, so they're really nice referrals.
Yeah, that works out perfect, doesn't it?
It does work out.
Because they didn't have to pick you guys. They could have picked any number of.
Right. So we're really lucky that, and it's worked out. I mean, we've already finishing our 5th year, so it's just exciting.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to give you a bunch of more deadlines and things for you to think about when we come back. Do you have another open house coming up or anything like that so people can come and just get
We
some
don't, but there are seminars going on
Okay.
that brokers are holding about our plan. So if you go into healthalliancemedicare.org, you should find those different dates and times all over our 4-county area.
Cool. We're going to take one more break and come back and wrap up the program with Jessica Arroyo. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Join us Tuesday, November 6th for live coverage of Election 2018. NCW Life will be on the air live from 7:30 to 9 with results, analysis, interviews, and special guests. Eric Granstrom will be our studio host, and reporters Steve Hare and Dan Kuntz will be in the field providing up-to-the-minute results from all the races. In addition, we'll have expert analysis of the national and statewide races. The NCW Life channel, your local source for Election 2018.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. Holiday Open House and Wine Walk is this Saturday from 12 to 5 in downtown Wenatchee. Visit participating downtown locations hosting wineries and cideries from throughout the region. Also Saturday is Ladies' Night Out in Plain at Plain Hardware and Nordic Ski Trails from 6 to 8. Enjoy discounts on gifts, clothing, and holiday decorations. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
And we're back with Jessica Arroyo from Health Alliance Northwest. I'm on the website, medicare.healthalliance.org. It answers everything. It's all there. It's very well laid out.
Yes.
So I guess my question was, since I have the website up, can you do everything online? Can you go to this website, pick your form out, shop your plans, enroll now, pay for it, the whole 9 yards, and never have to come down and see you, or not?
No, more than likely you will have to see us, particularly for the payment option, since we really can't collect all of the information online, so you might have to give us a call or stop in onto our office. But pretty much everything's on there. Like you mentioned earlier, everything's on there on a PDF form, so you can download it, put in your zip code, put what you're looking for. You can look up your drugs. It even gives you a cost calculator on there, so it will tell you how much to predict on what you're going to spend for that year.
Which is a great way to do it.
Yes, it is. And you can see, different pharmacies that would maybe give you a better savings on there. So again, like everything is on there. I use that every day.
So you can either do a lot of it in advance by again going to medicare.healthalliance.org, or you can simply walk in and say, I'm going to be 65, or I am 65, Jessica, hit me, and she will help you.
Yes.
So if you're completely new to this process, how much time does it take from beginning to end? Does it really depend on what you're picking or not?
Depending on what you're picking, the situation, typically when we meet with somebody, it's at least an hour. But I mean, you're going through everything and making sure you're making the right option. But yeah, it typically is a 45-minute to an hour appointment.
But hey, you might, you're done with it. And it's probably a little bit of an endorphin release. What are you going to do on December 8th when the deadline passes? Are you going to take the day off?
It's going to be Saturday, so it lands on a perfect day.
Okay, that's perfect. December 7th is your deadline to get enrolled for your 2019 coverage. Don't say we didn't warn you. Jessica, have a good day at the office today.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice to see you.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Don't forget to vote. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.